Open your book to page 546. Today's lesson is to learn how to use the law of cosines. The purpose of the law of cosines is to solve triangles when it's not a right triangle. So when you have a right triangle, you're going to use sine, cosine, and tangent. So you're going to use those functions. Now, when you have a triangle that is not a right triangle, you're going to use the law of cosine and the law of sine. So make sure you don't get the two confused. Okay. Now, the sine, cosine, and tangent, especially sine and cosine, these are special case of these. So if it's a right triangle, you can use it too, but it's too messy and too complicated, so you don't want to waste time doing that. Okay, so easy thing to do is, again, when it's a right triangle, use sine, cosine, and tangent. When it's not a right triangle, use the law of sine, law of cosine. Now, when it's not a right triangle, do not use these. Do not use sine, cosine. Okay, you got to use law of sine, law of cosine. Okay, so let's go over the law of cosine. So notice that you have the three format. I'm going to write that's going to do it. So if you look on page 546, there are three different forms. Okay, so let's start with the c squared. Okay, so c squared equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of c. So this is the small c. Now, again, remember what I said, right? The right triangle is a special case of these. So notice, does this look familiar? So if it's a right triangle, this is your Pythagorean theorem, okay, for a right triangle. So you can see that Pythagorean theorem actually is a special case of these. Okay? So again, if it's a right triangle, then this becomes 0 and you get the Pythagorean theorem. But if it's not a right triangle, there's additional part over here. Okay? And the way to memorize the equation, it seems kind of complicated, but actually it's fairly easy if you try to memorize based on the pattern. Okay, so this is how you memorize. Okay, you start with your Pythagorean theorem. Right? So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Notice that all the letters will be used. So whichever letter is over here, the other two will go over here. Then after that, just like when you have perfect square, this is like your middle term. Right? Think about your perfect square. And remember your perfect square, you got a minus b squared. You're going to get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, right? See this part over here? This is like your perfect square. Then you have the angle part, okay? Now, if the c is over here, you're going to get cosine angle c. If the b over here, you're going to get cosine b. So again, you start with any letter, depends on what you're looking for, right? Whatever letter you start, the other two letters will be over here, and you're going to get whatever two letters over here, that's what you're going to get over here. And the angle would be the other letter, right? So ABC, again, ABC, right? ABC. So you can start with any letter, square, then the other two letters, square, and whatever you have over here, you're going to have over here, right? Because that's your part of your perfect square, right? That's part of your perfect square. That's your part of the perfect square. Then you have to add the angle part, and the angle part would be the third letter. So if you have AB, you're going to get C. Or if you got C over here, you're going to get C. If you have B over here, you're going to get B. If you have A over here, you're going to get A. Okay? Or another way to memorize it is you're going to get all three there. So A, B, C, right? So if you have AC, you're going to get B. You got B, C, you're going to get A. Okay? And again, this two will match this two. This two will match this two. This two will match with this two. So try to memorize based on the pattern. And that way, it's easier to memorize all three. Okay? Again, start with any letter, then the other two letters, whatever letter you have over here, the other two will be over here, and this part will be complete your perfect square, right? And then after that, the angle part would be just matching or just going find the missing letter. So super easy to memorize if you recognize the pattern. So let's go over examples of how this work. Okay, so let's go to example 1. So in this triangle, again, draw your triangle. So a big triangle. So A, B, C. Now, the letters will always face, so small, so if the angle A is over here, your small a will be over here. Big B is over here, so small b will be over here. Angle C is over here, so this will be side C. Always, okay, that's the way that is being labeled. So it tells you in triangle ABC, A is equal to 11. Again, draw your triangle big, so you got room to label all the stuff. B equal to 15. And angle C equal to 75 degrees. And you want to find the C. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Again, if you're looking for small c, then write down your equation. So it's c squared, so small c, equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of c. Right, so that's your equation. So all you have to do is substitute all the stuff in there. So c squared equal to 11 squared plus 15 squared minus 2, 11, 15 cosine of 75 degrees. So be careful with this part over here. Okay, so make sure you use your calculator correctly. So c squared. Okay, so it's better to just go and write out intermediate step instead of try to type out the whole thing and push equal. Because sometimes if you push one key, then everything gets messed up. So it'd be 121 plus 225 minus, so this part over here, so 2 times 11 times 15 times 75 cosine, make sure you push equal, so it would be 85.41. Now, when you're doing the calculation, you want to get extra digits, so the answer will be more accurate. But when your final answer, you make the final answer match whatever it's giving. But when you're doing the calculation, get extra digits. Okay, so c squared equal to 431.41. So c equal to 21, right? It's 20.77, so run it off to match. So c equal to 21. Okay, and that's it. Right, again, write down your now. Right away, you see this is not a right triangle. It's not a right triangle, so you don't want to use sine, cosine, tangent. Okay. Unless this is what unless you cut it into unless you do this, cut it into the right triangle, but it's going to be such a hassle. You don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, and plus in some cases you're going to get stuck. So let's not do that. Just keep it simple. Okay. Right triangle, sine, cosine, tangent. The non-right triangles, law of sine, law of cosine. Okay. Okay, so let's go to let's go to example 2. Okay, example 2, it says a triangular course for a 25 kilometer boat race has side length of 5, 9, and 11. And they give you the picture down there, right? So 5, 9, and 11. Find the largest angle of the course to the nearest tenth of the degree. So you're looking for this angle over here. Now, how do you know that's the biggest angle? Well, because remember from your geometry, the biggest angle will face the longer side. The shortest the smallest angle will face the shorter side, and the medium angle will face in the medium side. Right? So you're looking for this angle over here. So you can label any way you want. It doesn't give you label, so you can label any way you want. So let's just follow the example. So you got A, B, and C. So that means small a equal to 5. This is small b, and this is a small c. Okay. So again, write down your equation. Now, since you're looking for angle C, that means you have to start with the letter C. Okay, so you're looking for angle C, so you have to use this formula. C squared equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2ab cosine of c. Again, so substitute everything in there. So you're going to get 11 squared equal to 5 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 5, b is 9 cosine of c. Okay, so work it out. So 121 equal to 25 plus 81 minus 90 cosine of c. So you have to get rid of that. So minus 25 minus 81, so minus 106. Okay, so get rid of that. So you get 15 equal to negative 90 cosine of c. Then you have to divide by negative 90. Divide by negative 90. So you got negative. You don't have to simplify. Okay, so you don't have to simplify because you have a calculator, right? Okay, so angle C equal to, so you can use your calculator. So you got negative 15 over 90. And since you're looking for angle, you have to go second function, so second cosine. And so would be 99.6 degree. Okay, and that's it. Okay. So again, the key is know your equations and write down your equation, and from there you just solve, right? Okay, so let's go and do some practice.